influencing reality, Bhuvan Rawal.
Thank you so much, DTM Mukesh. The short exercise that he asked me to do, that I am not the body and I am not the mind, is in fact what I was going to talk in my today's professional talk. In fact, it's a very crazy idea. Reality and influence. To share the craziness, I thought that I'll make the session more participative and involve every one of you over here. So let me ask you, what is reality? What do you think reality is?
I think reality is subjective. Reality is like they say, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Reality for everyone is different. Each one has a different perspective of reality. What we visualize to be, in our world, what affects us, and what we expect from the world, all those things shape up our reality.
I think a huge round of applause for the gentleman there. That is in fact the truth. I have a hands up from the TM.
I think reality is unassailable. And what we figure about reality is just our own perceptions. But there is only one truth. At some level, we are either afraid or reluctant to go to that.
To accept the truth. Again, a huge round of applause for DTM. What do you feel about it? What do you feel about reality?
Reality is something which cannot be changed. It's always there. It is what it is. And sometimes, however, perception can be reality. So even though reality reality has to be something that's very real. But many times we continue believing something. It often, even if it's not true, it does become the reality.
Okay. I may or may not agree with that. What I researched. One philosopher, he said that reality is infinite consciousness and infinite imagination. He said that nothing that you see around is real. Nothing, absolutely nothing. The objects that we see around, the chair, the plastic, the light, the balloon, someone has told you that these exist. When we were born, we were told that A for apple, B for ball, C for cat. Right from that mind, that point in time, our subconscious mind was taught about the objects which we now feel that it is the reality. So he said that it is infinite consciousness. What do you think is consciousness? Can anyone of you answer? And it's very, very simple. Consciousness.
Your acknowledgement of surroundings.
Awareness. Correct. Awareness. So I thought of a very simple, answer to that. We have a projector over here, and we have a sort of a software film in front of the light source that we have. So the projector, I think that whatever there is on this screen is the reality. But the fact is, the film is ever changing. The film is ever changing. The only constant is the light source that is behind. And that can be compared to as the consciousness. What is happening is all of the things, all of the sense organs that we have are putting in information into us, and the consciousness inside is making an impression, and we are perceiving a reality. And that is the perceptive reality. No one knows what reality is. It is what we are perceiving. Now I am speaking in front of you, and when I'll come back to you for my evaluation, every one of you may have different thoughts. Someone may feel that my body language is altered or can be made better, my vocal variety can be made better. But in reality, Bhuvan Rawal, standing in front of you, is a single person. He is the truth. But how come your thoughts differed? Because you were perceiving him based on your intuitions that were collected from a point in time when you were born, possibly. Right? You are aggregating all the thoughts, all the information about all objects. Your Toastmasters learning could have been different, and you are observing me. But I am one, I am truth. Correct? So, this is very, very difficult to accept what that philosopher said, and it is not really in the scope of this presentation that we accept that fact. What we can accept that reality is ever changing. If hypothetically, if I put myself 100 years back, when there were no mobile phones, when there were no airplanes, if someone has said that you can go from New Delhi to New York in 12 hours, I would say you've gone crazy. It is impossible, because it was not real for me. It wouldn't have been real for me. If I say that in a matter of seconds, you can make a phone call from here to Bangalore and you can have a voice conversation, I would have felt that you are lying to me. You are telling me something that is not real. But here we are today. All of these things were possible. 100 years back, if you had to go from Delhi to New York, you would have to probably go to Mumbai, took a ship to South Africa, took a ship to Mexico, and then probably reach New York in 6 months. That would have been the modus operandi. But that's not how it works now. Reality is changing. Every single passing second, our perceptive reality is changing. The jobs that we see, in 2 years, in fact, Mark Zuckerberg has said that every 2 years, the jobs that we have, 50% of them cease to exist in this modern time frame. That is why it has become truly important. There is one truth, as DTM Rupendra said. Truth is one, but perceptions can be infinite. I think we can welcome him or she'll Please have a seat. Okay, so I have a simple exercise for you. I know you've just entered. What you have to do is close your eyes. Close your eyes. And do not open the eyes till I clap my hand. Okay? Close your eyes, come on. And when I clap my hand, you have to open your eyes and count 5 objects in the room. And then, as soon as you are done, you have to raise your hand. Alright? Everyone's ready? You can speak. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. DTM Rupinder was a quickest.
I can count.
What objects did you count?
I counted Puneet, Devina, Lakshay, Anu,
They are not objects.
and Shubhashish.
Okay.
They have mass, they matter, hence they are objects.
Maybe I am not referring, so you cheated the exam, I will say. That is not what I was referring to, maybe, but we applied his brains. We huge round of applause for him. DTM, your hand was the second.
Balloons, monitor, mouse, keyboard, register.
Did you visualize it before, or when you opened the eyes, you
Only when I
imagined
opened my eyes.
objects?
I just saw the 5 things that are there.
Correct. So, the fact that we feel familiar in this environment is because we know all of these objects around. We know how workly is, we know how professional meeting setup is. When I came to a professional speakers meeting for the first time, maybe I was not so familiar with it. If I say to Titi and Devina that there's a snake lying in the desk, she feels slightly afraid. And imagine if it is there. There's an object lurking around, or if there's a lizard. Now that's subconscious mind playing with you. That is your perceived reality. And the snake may or may not be there, but you are afraid. Why? Because you have an impression of the snake. You feel the snake might bite you. You have learned from the people around. Your parents may have told you, or your friends may have told you, you have been scared throughout. But these objects that you have told, balloons or objects, the tables, the lights, we feel comfortable, right? Now, perceptive reality may be different for different people, as I've said. He is counting 4, the other person is counting 3, and both of them feel that they are right. And because of perceptive reality, conflicts arise. Both of them are not able to accept the truth. Probably this guy would have gone over there, and the other person would have moved around a bit, and they would have changed their perceptions and accepted the truth as they are. But a conflict has arose because of the perceptive reality. Now, we are very, very lucky that we live in a world that our subconscious or our perceptive reality falls in line with our mind. I'll tell you why I'm referring to that. There was a gentleman who was blind till 40 years of age, and he had an eye problem which was not solvable until that point in time. But scientists or the medical people, they found a cure to his problem when he was 40 years of age, and a gentleman gifted cornea to him as an organ donor, of course, when he died. And suddenly, he got his eyes for the first time in his life. Scientists or the doctors, they felt that the operation is completely successful. But to the person, it was a failure, complete failure. All he could see was light. He could not figure out the objects, he could not figure out what it is, and I would not be wrong if he went psychotic. What a child takes 15 days, the gentleman took 2 years to figure out, because he already had a sense of perception in his mind about the reality. And we are very, very lucky that our subconscious falls in line with our perceptive reality. Now, what does perceptive reality has got to do with influence? The other thing that I'm trying to integrate. If someone can answer. What has reality got to do with influence? Sure.
There are factors that influence reality. I mean, if you look at, let's say, Kashmir, If I'm an Indian, I'll have a different perception of reality, of Kashmir, and if I'm a Pakistani, I'll have a very different. And again, if I'm a United States citizen, then I will have an entirely different perception. But the reality is that Kashmir is a region, and that it is disputed, and that is its stark reality.
But what does it have to do with influence?
Because I have been, the way I've been brought up, I've been
You
brought
have
up
been
in thinking
influenced.
that Kashmir belongs to us.
I think it's spot on. Huge round of applause for VPN. Come on, you can do better, Subhashish. Influence. The word influence is there because we have perceived reality. If we had known the source of truth or the absolute truth, there would not have been a word called influence. And influence is something that plays a vital role in everyone's part, be it a communicator, be it a salesman, be it in any single conversation that you do, you are influencing the other person. Whether you're going to shopkeeping in Lajpat Market, you're bargaining with the person that you feel that is for 30 rupees and the shopkeeper is saying that no, it's for 40. You are trying to influence each other. You have a perceptive reality and the shopkeeper has one. And you're trying to influence each other. Okay. Now coming to influence, I'll show you some images. So you have a gentleman over here, Steve Jobs, Nelson Mandela.
I just rotate it once and then wait. Rotate it.
Thank you, William Offender. You have Nelson Mandela. You have one and only Mahatma Gandhi. You have Galileo Galilei. You have Einstein. You have a very own Deepak Menon. What do you think about these people?
Influential.
Correct. They have influenced our lives in some way or the other. In fact, I was having a conversation with BTM Rupinder. I do not know BTM Deepak Menon personally, but he said that he has impacted lives of thousands of Toastmasters in India itself. Now, I know that the first slide that you saw, Steve Jobs, okay, while many of you would agree that he's selling overpriced phones or tablets or laptops, but he's created a product that people are buying. He's envisioned something, he's given privacy, and people trust him for it. There's only 10% market share of iPhone, but you know the profit share of iPhone is 75%. 10% of phones being sold, but 75% market share of profit. And that is huge. That is huge. It's around 10 years that he's died, but his legacy lives on. And same goes for Mahatma Gandhi. We recently celebrated 150 years of his birth anniversary, and his thoughts have influenced people all around the world. Now, another skill that is most sought after in the industry, and this is where I connect to the theme of the day, is emotional intelligence. emotional intelligence is the most sort of a thing in the industry, wherein if I can empathize with you, if I can understand your emotion, I can influence you better. But it is completely null and void if I am not being genuine. If I am not being genuine right now about what I am saying, you would not, your subconscious mind would somehow come to know, and you would feel that I'm trying to impress you and not express you. And that's what I have learned from my mentor. And since I have applied that philosophy, my thought process has changed, and the way I act on the stage has changed, and the way I perceive people on the stage has changed. We have to be genuine in whatever thing that we do, be it sales, be it, and genuinity is not to the other person, but it is to yourself. So with those thoughts in mind, I'd like to wind up the presentation, and I'd like to hand over the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Mukesh Thakur.